Georgia, Alabama. Sports Live will be your go-to for all your favorite high school and collegiate games this fall. From the Carver Tigers to the Columbus Blue Devils, the Harris County Tigers and Northside Patriots, the Glenwood Gators and Calvary Christian Knights, the Pacelli Vikings and Brookstone Cougars, to the Smith Station Panthers and Russell County Warriors, from CVCC, Pirates basketball and baseball, and every tournament from here to Macon. We are the #1 destination for anything happening in East Alabama and West Central Georgia. Be sure to like and follow us on YouTube and Facebook, and stay tuned for even more amazing ways we will be bringing Georgia, Alabama Sports Live to you this upcoming season. We can't wait to come see you next. What is up, everyone, and good evening. It's the Georgia, Alabama Sports Live Show. We got Richard Holdridge. I'm Thrift, Barringer, and Richie Rich. We're already here. It's state championship week.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Football's almost done. We are right in a basketball season, and just everything that's going on in the Chattahoochee Valley. I'm just excited to talk about it.
Yeah, I am too, Richard. We're going to be talking about that Carver Tigers as they're playing in the state championship for tomorrow. We got to talk about Columbus. Columbus is playing tomorrow. We're talking Carver playing on Tuesday. So we're going to preview both of those games. Columbus Lady Blue Devils flag football team plays tomorrow against one of the best teams in the entire country, not just in the entire state, in Southeast Bullock, who have lost only one game in the last 3 years. Also going to be talking about Carver, and they'll be taking on Burke County. And if you ask me, Richard, I think they're a huge favorite to win the state championship this upcoming Tuesday. And then, Richard, we're going to drop our Georgia, Alabama Sports Live basketball rankings. We did it 2 weeks ago. Major changes. Do not go anywhere. And we'll wrap up the show with River Dragons report. Richard will give us on what's happening with them. On Wednesday, we'll also talk about what we got the schedule for the rest of this week. And we got something big coming up on Friday in the Muscogee County Showcase. Can't wait to talk about that, Richard.
Can't wait to talk about all of it, Thrift. We had a very busy week last week. I actually produced by myself 5 different sporting events last week. I thought it was a great accomplishment. But yeah, I've kind of just felt like, we needed to cover as much stuff as I could, and just helping out as much as I can for Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. But it was definitely a busy week last week.
A huge week, and I will say great job by you. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But we are presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC. We were just there this past Wednesday. Always get ready to smile. We also are sponsored by Buffalo Rock. So thank you to Buffalo Rock and Pepsi. Thank you to Gordy Eye Care, the official eye care of Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. We're going to probably have on Griff Gordy either Wednesday or next week, a part of just thanking our sponsors for what they do. And then CVCC, we're home to CVCC Athletics. Thank you to Zaxby's and Terry Johnson, HG State Farm, Carroll Purdue, Masterwall, and all the sponsors in Harris County that give us and are supporters of ours from the very beginning. But I want to start the show with this thing right here. And I know my virtual background is not doing its justice. But this Georgia, Alabama Sports Live Community Service Award that we won, and I say we because this was a team award that was given, thankfully, by my mentor, DJ Jones. Y'all know I'm a part of Sports Visions and excited about the future of Sports Visions. You're going to want to tune in. Like us on Facebook, Sports Visions. Also follow DJ Jones. Huge news coming. I'm not going to drop it right now. I'm going to let DJ do it. But great news for Sports Visions Nation. I look forward to being a part of that. But the 17th annual Football Awards Luncheon. Over 1,000 people in attendance. Over 100 players and coaches from flag football to football, state championship winning teams. We were able to give every school an offensive, defensive MVP award. We were able to give specialty awards. Jeremiah Castile, the chaplain and of Alabama and longtime player in the NFL, was an Alabama great Hall of Famer and just overall great motivational speaker. Him and DJ, he did a great job speaking this past Thursday. But we gave all the awards, and at the very end, DJ surprised Georgia Alabama Sports Live with this trophy for this football season, in which we did 60 games, Richard.
Wow.
Over 60 football broadcasts. I counted them. There were Fridays where we did 4, and a Saturday we did 4 and 1 Friday. Multiple Saturdays Fridays we had at least 3 to 2. We did a lot of Thursdays. Unbelievable. And if you include flag football, that may be pushing it close to 80 broadcasts. Yeah. And that's just the tip of the iceberg on what we're going to do for the rest of this year. I didn't even mention softball, volleyball, wrestling that we've done. We got tennis, soccer, baseball coming up in the spring. But this was a team award. And it's efforts like you, Richard, who last Saturday did the archery competition at Calvary, over 150 participants. Unbelievable job. Richard, you were there from like 4 hours broadcasting that. It meant the world to Calvary. It meant the world to me. You were there. And then you left and went and broadcasted Sumter County Shaw girls and boys basketball game. That's pretty much how our days go every day here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. But to be recognized by DJ Jones and the rest of the community for giving back, and that's the sole reason we started this. I didn't do it for a pat on the back. It's nice to be recognized for the hard work that we are going to continue to do. So I wanted to start the show off with that. Thank you, DJ, and thank you to the community, because without the community tuning into our broadcast, telling us how much it means to do these games, none of this would be possible. And I just want to say thank y'all so much from the bottom of my heart, and we're going to continue getting bigger and bigger and doing more and more games. Go ahead, Richard. I know I've talked a lot.
No, it was great. And by the way, Saturday I logged in 7 hours of calling games, archery, and then the Sumter County Shaw games for Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And I love doing it because I love sports, and I really appreciate the partnership that we've had over the last 2 years. I know that Georgia Alabama Sports Live is maybe a year and a half old, but we started live streaming games off your phone when it was just Thrift Barringer's Facebook page. But that's and really how Georgia. Yeah, look at us now.
And now look what we're doing. And Richard, I'm going to be honest, you have turned into a color commentator, play-by-play, to literally a fourth. We got 5 guys that can produce. We have over 6 guys that can call games. We are a team of about 13 on Georgia, Alabama, maybe 14 if you want to add a few more. And we're going to have our staff party on Thursday, and I can't wait to bring this award. So, again, thank you to DJ Jones. Thank you to everyone in support, and we appreciate the recognition we got from the luncheon. Okay, let's talk about last week. We did a lot of games. A lot of basketball games happened. We're going to save that when we do drop our rankings, okay, our ratings. So we're going to hold off on that. But you did a flag football game, quarterfinals, and then Columbus High won that on Monday. They ended up winning against Long County on Thursday, Richard.
Yep.
So now they are in the state championship. And I guess we'll start there if you want to go ahead and throw up that Columbus High back in the state championship. Richard, you've been calling several of their games this year. I'm going to let the floor is yours. Talk about this upcoming matchup between Southeast Bullock and Columbus High.
Well, this is going to be a tough matchup. Southeast Bullock did defeat Harris County. That defeated Columbus to win the region. When I called that game against Washington County, Columbus was down 18-12, and they got the ball. They were able to get the go-ahead touchdown. They got the try. They were up 19-18, and Washington County, they could have won the game with a final drive, and that's the way that their offense was moving the football. They were driving the ball on Columbus, but Alexandria Lofton, with the play of the game, had an interception, and Columbus iced the game, won it 27-18. I want to thank Jeff Battles for allowing us to live stream this, athletic director, Coach Danielle McCoy, assistant AD for Columbus, for allowing us to live stream this game. It really meant the world to me, to us, to live stream a playoff game on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. I thought it was a great event that went down to the wire. And even though it was rainy, it was soggy, Columbus, who got to host the game because the number 2 seed Washington County also won their bracket. Columbus was the number 2 seed in their bracket. They had to play all their matches on the road, and then to go down to Lawn County and get the 19-8 victory. Now, I gotta be honest with you. This matchup against Southeast Bullock, it's going to be very tough. I'll be watching this game. This is going to be broadcasted on GPB Sports, your public broadcasting station in Georgia, and also on their website. I think that Matt Stewart or John Nelson, one of them, is going to be on the call for this game. They do a fantastic job with GPB Sports. I'm just excited that Columbus gets to be in the spotlight. They get to be at Mercedes-Benz Stadium at noon. This will be the first game because this is Division I. I just can't stress enough how hard these girls have been working. Serenity Hickman, one of the best quarterbacks. You put her up there with Cricket Colley, with Kendall Isaacs. I mean, we've got some pretty good quarterbacks in our area. Garrett Griggs over there with Central. But I'm going to be
honest. Go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that it's going to be a tough matchup. But, yeah, Coach Christian Greer has just done a fantastic job really just building this program. And they're in the state championship, and they get to be in the spotlight tomorrow.
Yeah, it was a great game on Monday, and looking forward to now seeing what's going to happen here for the rest of this state championship as Columbus takes on Southeast Bullock, who's lost 1 game since 2021. They are a 3-time state champion. Columbus has 1 under their belt. I'm going to go Columbus side with the upset, but it's going to take a near perfect game against Southeast Bullock. I will tell you, when they did take on Harris County, that game came down to the wire. Harris County was in it. They only lost 7-0, Richard. So that makes me think Columbus High does have a shot to beat them. They beat Dodge County after that 27-0. Many people thought Harris County was the second best team in the state, and that could have been a de facto state championship. Remember, Harris County did beat Columbus earlier to win the region.
Yeah,
I'm going to say Hickman and Alexandria Lofton had big games. Give me Columbus High with the upset, but this will be a major upset. Southeast Bullock's ranked 4th in the state regardless of classification. They're top 30 nationally, and they're a really good program that's lost 1 game in their last, close to 60 matches they played.
Yeah, it's incredible.
That was this year against Calvary Day. So it's going to be tough, but we're going to be cheering them on. I hope everyone in Columbus is going to be cheering on Coach Greer and the Columbus Lady Blue Devils.
Yeah, Serenity Hickman with 79 touchdown passes this year. Defenses know Alexandria Lofton is the best wide receiver in the state of Georgia, and because of that, they're focusing their defense all on Alexandria Lofton. But a player like Harmony Franklin, who one night will play for Coach Adams on the basketball court, and then she'll turn around and play flag football the next day. This is just a tremendous athlete, great running back, but can also catch it in the flat. She is just a complimentary receiver to Alexandria Lofton. And I think that Columbus has just got just an all-around just team that's just good on defense, good on offense. And we're hoping that Columbus can get the state championship. I do want to throw it back to that regular season game against Harris County because Alexandria Lofton did not play in that game, but neither did Pearson Pettit. She got hurt in that game.
Can I be honest? Maybe that worked out in favor of Columbus High because if maybe she did, and let's say Columbus did beat Harris County, then Columbus would have to play at Southeast Bullock. Harris County would have been the bracket that Columbus was in, and we could be talking about Harris County, Southeast Bullock. Maybe being second place in the region kind of worked in favor of Columbus High, but we will be watching that. What time is the game tomorrow, Richard, on GPB Sports?
12 o'clock at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It is actually the first of all the state championship games. So there are 4 divisions in girls flag football, and Division I starts at 12. Division II starts at 2, and then on Tuesday at 11 o'clock, Division III, and then on Wednesday, 11 o'clock for Division IV, because the flag football actually kicks off the state championships. And then, we have just a fantastic lineup at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium starting on Monday, going all the way to Wednesday with the 6A state championship to wrap up football and officially close the book on football for this calendar year.
Then we have on Tuesday at 4 p.m. the Team of Destiny, and they are 1 win away from a state championship. Coach Pierre Coffey's team has been on an absolute dominant run, one of the more dominant runs I have seen in recent history. They take on a Burke County team that loves running the football. They got a guy that's gotten close to 2,000 yards rushing. They've rushed for almost 4,000 on the season. This team, it's going to be a hard-fought, low-scoring affair, I feel like, in that first half. But here's the difference. It's that defense. It's the linebackers. No one's been able to run the football, even Harris County, on Carver. I don't expect Burke County to. The only problem would be if Carver started making uncharacteristic mistakes we've seen in their winning streaks. They've been on 11-game winning streak since losing that game to Harris County back in late August. Can you believe that? Now we are in late December.
Hard to believe.
And they are trying to get that ring. Coach Coffey's got, I think, the best team in Columbus and the Columbus side of the Tri-City area. I can't speak for the 2 Central State Championships, but we have not had a Columbus State Championship since Pacelli and the GIAA, and I'm sorry this Carver team would smoke them. They wouldn't. I don't even think it'd be close. This Carver team is the best team we've had in our area since 2007, and I go argue with your mama. They are the best, and right now it's because it's not just the elite defense. It's been the offense led by Mungan, and that, I think, the playmaking, the speed on the outside, that's where they're going to wear down Burke County. Burke County's not going to be able to score a lot of points. I don't know if it's going to be 44-8 like it was against Pierce County, but I do expect a double-digit win. But even if they don't win by double digits and they win by 3, I don't care how they get it done. And I don't think Coach Coffey does either. At this point, you're just trying to win and hold on to that state championship. But I see them cementing themselves as one of the more dominant teams we've ever had in our area with a dominant state championship win. And I have said this, I'm going to say it again. You could put Carver in 3A and 4A. I'm a little hesitant on 5A and 6A, but 3A and 4A, Carver will be right there in the mix, and they'd probably still be in the bins. That's how loaded this team is, and I can't wait. Enough of the talk. They're going to be in Atlanta tomorrow, and then on Tuesday, they're strapping up, and guess what? We're going to be in the building live. We're going to do a live hit outside of the bins, kind of promoting the game, and then we're going to do an interview, hopefully, with Coach Coffey after the game when he wins that state championship.
Yeah, you talked about the offense. Matthew Mungden with 28 touchdown passes of this season. 15 of those have gone to Braylon Jakes. He has been his favorite target. I've seen Braylon Jakes. It looks like he's been wide open, and he's able to get separation from the defenders. But they've had 2 running backs that rushed for over 1,000 yards this season. Jacoby Castlin, who rushed for over 1,300 yards, and Kelston Tarver, who rushed for over 1,200 yards.
No popcorn this time, Rich?
Well, I'm giving him the respect. Kelston Tarver.
I'm getting my popcorn ready for Friday because I think Mr. Tarver has a big game.
No, we all know he's popcorn Tarver, but he's really fit in nicely with this offense. I think that when you think of Carver and you think of players like Tristan Givens, who's going to be a top defensive end. By the way,
Tristan Givens was one of those award winners at
that's right.
The awards luncheon, and congratulations to every single player that was able to receive an award for their hard work this year, as we do every year at the Sports Wizard Awards luncheon. But continue, Rich.
No, I mean, we know the defensive stars on the Carver lineup. I mean, Antavius Watts, A.J. Wilson, Jatavius Wisdom, Zay Billingsley. And, of course, that defensive line, you don't want to be lined up in front of Tristan Givens because he'll beat you off the block. He gets in the backfield a lot, and not just the sacks, the pressures on the quarterbacks. And I do think that this game, because Burke County's only loss was to a 4A school, Benedictine. We know how good Benedictine is. I do think this game is going to be a little bit closer. Get this. Even Phil Jones from ITG Next is picking Carver in this game, and he never
but
picks
come on, I
Carver.
don't. Yeah,
He picked
Phil
Appling
Jones,
County.
you're not Mr. Georgia. I don't listen to Phil Jones. He's just a hothead that spews off stuff. He can come argue with me right here on our show if he wants. Heck,
Yeah.
I'll even go on his show. I don't care what Phil Jones says or anybody else. Carver is the best team and been the best team hands down in 2A. If you don't know that, you're not watching football. And this is what I'm confused about too. It's not like Muskogee County and Columbus is not the second biggest city in the entire state. It is.
Population-wise, it is the second largest city in Georgia.
Okay, so why are we not getting the due respect, especially the Carver Tigers, who year in and year out for the last 20 years has been a dominant program in our state? I'm tired of the nonsense. The only way Carver loses this game, I think, if they're both playing their A games, I'm still taking Carver by 10 points or more. Carver's going to have to make mistakes that they have not made in the last 11 weeks. Matthew Mungan is going to have to throw interceptions and turn the ball over, which he has been flawless this entire playoff run. I don't see Burke County turning them over. And then their thing is running the football. Good luck running on that Justin Newman, who, by the way, just won, I think, Score Atlanta's Assistant Coach of the Year for giving up like 3 points a game, it seems like this year.
All right, so let's go back to the Sports Visions Awards luncheon last week, where Isaiah Crowell ended up getting an award. Congratulations to him. Got to talk to him after the award luncheon, and he's one of the Carver greats. And when I was living in Atlanta back in 2010, Isaiah Crowell really put Carver on the map, because it's a high school down in Columbus. I had nothing to do with Columbus back in 2010. He was the #1 recruit in the entire nation, and he picked Georgia, and he really won for 8 SEC Freshman of the Year. He really saved Georgia's season in 2012. They did go 10-4, but he had a phenomenal season for Georgia. But he was running all over the backfield. His freshman year was when Carver won the state championship, and he had just an outstanding year. Outstanding 4 years at Carver. And when you think of excellence in football in Columbus, you think of all the greats that played at Carver that went on to play in the NFL, including your broadcasting colleague, who was one of the Carver greats, DJ Jones.
Yep. I agree with you on that, Richard. And DJ, I know we'll be cheering on, as we all will. And another PSA, we are cheering on Carver and Columbus. They're the only teams alive. I said this at the luncheon. The entire community needs to be cheering them on, as we hope that the Tigers bring on the hardware. So good luck to Coach Pierre Coffey and the Carver Tigers. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back from break, we got more here on the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Show. You're watching right now the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Show that is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. Get ready to smile. We'll be right back after this.
My name is Quinteria Perry, and this is my CVCC story. I've graduated from CVCC with my associates in medical assistant, and I received my certification from CVCC. The training that I got from CVC and being prepared to come and do clinicals helped tremendously. I started looking at scholarships, and the Ambassador Scholarship was interesting to me because you did events to earn your scholarship and you meet people. My favorite part about my job is meeting patients every day. They will crack me up every day. They make my day better. I would recommend CVCC to anyone that asks because of the scholarships, the teachers, the small stuff that you can't get at a university. They actually take the time out for each student.
Georgia-Alabama Sports Live wants to say thank you to one of our presenting sponsors, Buffalo Rock, and their partnership with everything that we do. And without business like Buffalo Rock, we wouldn't be able to go cover softball, volleyball games, every type of high school sport you can think of, local college games, and professional. So thank you to those businesses that support us, and specifically Buffalo Rock. And next time you're watching a Georgia-Alabama Sports Live broadcast after a nice long day, why not enjoy it with a nice, refreshing sorry? the best lemon lime soda around. Thank you to Sorry and Buffalo Rock for our partnership on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
We're hammering down high prices at Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika. New Chevy Silverado 4x4 crew cabs discounted up to $14,000 off. Brand new 2025 Chevy Equinox compact SUV with high-tech features discounted up to $4,000 off. Enjoy your holidays with no payments until February. Choose from over 500 new and used on the lot or on the way. GlennSmith.com. Get ready to smile.
I'm smiling, Richard's smiling. We're all smiling for everybody that's still alive in Carver and Columbus, cheering them on. All right. This is, I think, what a lot of people, and I'm going to try to get some more people to tune in here, but we're going to be dropping our rankings now for basketball, for girls and for boys. And I've been excited. I actually kind of like how the rankings turned out here, but Richard, before we do that, anything kind of surprised you in the last week in terms of basketball before we drop our rankings?
Yes, I actually, I wasn't really that surprised, but how about Kendrick? Kendrick just keeps on winning. Kendrick boys, led by Coach Andre Dye. I think that what Coach Jarquella Woods has done at Northside, they were undefeated, and then they actually did beat Columbus. And they beat Russell County. So they did lose their first game to Shaw earlier in the week, but they were able to beat Russell County and Columbus. So they're rolling. I think that those are the two big surprises.
Yeah, I think so too, Richard. And we also had a big game that we were not able to do, which was the Pacelli girls basketball game against Central. And we'll talk about that here in just a moment when we drop the rankings. But that was a classic that went down in the wire. But I'm right. You're right, Richard. A lot of huge surprises that we have seen so far. So I can't wait to see what our rankings are going to be. So without further ado, let's go ahead and throw them up there, Richard. And let's talk about the girls first here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Okay, so we got girls basketball, and we'll start at number 10. It is Columbus Lady Blue Devils, who was a little bit higher last week. They did lose to Smith Station in Russell County, but I like this team at 5-5. I think that they're going to make the playoffs this year or be one of the teams vying for that playoff spot. What can you say about the great job Coach Adams has done in turning this team into someone that can make the playoffs after having to struggle the last 2 years?
Well, the thing about a team led by Coach Adams, they are going to improve. She's had several players that's been out, and they've had a tough schedule, having to play with Northside. They did lose to Northside. They lost to Carver. I mean, they do play hard away on Tuesday. I mean, it doesn't get any easier, just especially when you get into region play. And I'll be honest with you, after seeing Sumter County on Saturday, you could throw Sumter County into the mix as a team that could compete for the playoffs. So I think that this region is going to be a lot tougher for not just Columbus, but these other schools. But I think that Coach Adams is doing a good job, getting her team prepared and ready. And it's just really about just improving and continuing to be better and continuing to compete.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what she's doing as she's getting her team better each and every week. So great job by her so far in this season. Number 9 is Calvary. They're 4-2. They were supposed to play Wiregrass. I don't think they played them this past week. So they're 4-2 on the season. They got Tatnall coming up. They've beaten teams like Shaw and Sly County. They got a couple losses this year, one of them being to Columbus. But I think Calvary is one of about 4 or 5 teams in the GIAA that could potentially meet, because I think it's a foregone conclusion Pacelli is going to be in the state championship in the GIAA, but Calvary could be a semifinal, Final Four, Elite 8 team, quarterfinal team. So I'm putting them at number 9. Michaela Reed putting up over 25 a game. New addition Jade Irvin is hitting shots from the outside, and they just got an overall great group. And Coach Jonathan Norton says they've been getting better each and every week, and we'll talk to him on the coaches show, Calvary Coach Show, coming up.
We saw them last week against Shaw, and Shaw was a pretty good team coming in, who just got finished beating Northside. And they won that game 48-45. Michaela Reed scored her 1,000 points. Just a great milestone, and got to see it on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. But Calvary, which we're supposed to play Wiregrass, I know that the Calvary boys team played Wiregrass, but their next game is at Tatnall in Macon, and then they start region play. I think that Coach Norton is got them like playing as a team, not always relying on Michaela Reed, because you do have a second scoring option with Jade Irvin, who her signature shot is that corner three. Anytime that you see Jade Irvin open for a three, she can hit it. And I do think that this Calvary team is going to compete, especially in their region in the GIAA, along with Pacelli, Brookstone, Strong Rock. You got Field. And they also will play Wiregrass on January the 11th. That will be a home game.
So they did not play them this past week, but potentially could be playing them they will be playing them coming up later in this season. All right, let's move on quickly. Number 8, Spencer. They beat Brookstone this past week. Spencer's 5-3. Coach Tinch's team still competitive, and they're really good. And I think they're going to be a team that wins maybe close to 20 games this year. So even though they haven't replaced one of the Burke sisters, I got number 8,
Naomi,
Spencer Greenways, and number 7, Smith Station, 7-1 to start the season. So how about the Smith Station Panthers coming in the top 7?
Yeah, and their only loss was to Hardaway. I mean, because they did play Hardaway over the weekend. They lost 77-27. I mean, but you could tell they've been beating all the teams in front of them. They might have 2 losses, because they did play Harris County on Saturday, but we don't have a score update on that game. But I think that Harris County won.
Yeah. Harris County girls did win. They bounced back, so that's why Harris County stayed where they're at. Number 6, Jarquella Woods, undefeated, and then lost to Shaw this past week to go to 6-1. But they've been a pleasant surprise, and Coach Wood's team will be vying in the mix in that tough region they play in with Jonesboro, Sars Mill, Monday Mill, Griffin, and also Harris County. So number 6 is the Northside Patriots. Number 5 are the Carver Tigers. I know they're 3-4. They did lose to Harris County earlier in the week last week, but they're young. They played an extremely tough schedule, and I promise you, by the end of the year, Coach Humley's team, we're projecting this. They're going to be right in the mix like they always are, as a team that could maybe potentially make a deep run in the playoff. Yeah,
a team that's coached by Coach Hundley, he's got the championship pedigree. Making it to the finals in 2017, winning a championship in 2019 and in 2021. Great players like Olivia Cochran, Jasmine Thornton, Aubrey Wilkins, Chubb Williams, Kaylee Simpson, who plays at Georgia Southwestern University. I mean, they've got some great players. And then Cam Thomas is one of the top players in the state, according to Sandy Spell. But yeah, they're off to a good start in region play. Able to beat Columbus on Saturday. They'll end up taking on Shaw, and they will be in the Campbell Christmas tournament. I think that's going to be up in Smyrna, because that's Campbell High School. And then, Coach Hundley likes to stack the schedule. They're taking on 6A Buford. They're taking on Rockdale County. I cannot wait for that game on January the 10th, on a Friday, when they take on Hardaway, a rematch of the Muskogee County Christmas tournament last season. When they get into region play, I mean, Sumter County, we know that they're going to be good. I mean, they're going to be playing Columbus. They got an incredibly tough schedule. I know we don't have to read off every game they're going to be playing, but they played a tough schedule, and we look forward to seeing them play against Hardaway, which I think they're the 2 teams that's going to be vying for that region at the end of the year. Number 4, Harris County moved down 1, and this is not because, yes, they lost to Hardaway, but Hardaway's a really good team. This is because of teams in front of them. Remember how we do our rankings. Yes, a lot of these teams are placing off head-to-head. It's a little bit different in basketball. We get a little bit better feel, but in the end, we do say chances to win a state championship in your league. And I don't know if Harris County's got a better chance than Pacelli. And I think they played each other this year at Harris County. Harris County, number 4. Coach Ramsey Dunn. Honestly, they may not even play this year. I'm going to have to look January 25th they play.
Yes. So they will be facing off against each other. So we'll get a good feeling. But Bocelli's the favorite to win it all. Coach Bryant's team, they're about 9 to 10 deep. They did lose to Central by 4 and what's one of the best games of the year. And I got a hot take on that here in just a second. But Harris County number 4, Bocelli number 3. The second best player in the entire area is Michaela Holsley. We'll talk about number 1 in a minute. But Janai Broom, she is definitely a top 5 player, and she has been a dominant force for Coach Ramsey Dunn's team. And you can see the top Lady Tigers. They're going to probably win the region, and they'll make a deep run. So 4 Harris County, number 3, Lady Vikings.
How fun is Harris County in their region? You got Northside, who's number 6. I can't wait until they play. We know that Jonesboro is going to be good. Stars Mill, Griffin, who won the state title 2 years ago. Bocelli just got finished beating Griffin. This is going to be a fun region for Harris County. As far as Bocelli, I think I agree. I agree with you, Thrift. They are the favorites to win the GIAA, and they're going to just play tough competition. That Central game was an all-timer, but Bocelli, this team that won the state championship last year, Coach Bryant Thomas has got all his players back, and they are deep.
Yeah. Number 2, they went, and they're 10-1 for 1. Coach Regetta Williams, wow, at the job she's done here in year 2.
Unbelievable.
They're 10-1. They went into the land and beat, I thought, the number 2 team in our entire region, our entire area that we cover, and won by 4. And I'm going to say this, and it's a hot take. And honestly, I'll argue with you, but I hate trying to waste my breath. And there's people on this live right now that are watching that I really respect in terms of basketball IQ and acumen. There's a lot of coaches. I know Bryant Thomas, Adam Denson, Andre Dye, Curtis Crowell. These are coaches, people that cover the sport, people that know these girls better than anyone. Jabria Lindsay is the best player, hands down, in this area, and it's not even an argument. The girl had 25 against Bocelli. She is an unstoppable force, and I don't think anyone can argue it, okay? There is no argument. I mean, if you want to try to have the conversation, I guess we can. Michaela Johnson's an excellent player. She's top 3. A.K. Shelton, Deja Burrell, Janai Broom. Michaela Hosley, I think, is the second best player. But none of those girls are on the level Jabria Lindsay is. And again, she is still only a junior. And Central, I think, is now not only catapulted in our rankings, Rich, I think they've catapulted in the state of Alabama as a team that can win a state championship. They could have boys and girls like Bocelli did last year. Central number 2, and then number 1, Hardaway's 4-4. Throw the record out. They play the toughest schedule out of anybody on this list. They're going to be one of the best teams at the end. They're the favorite, according to Sandy Spill, to win it in 2A. Hardaway comes in at number 1, and they showed it last Friday going into Harris County and winning by double digits. But what's your thoughts on Jabria Lindsay and Central being number 2, Hardaway number 1? Central's got the best player, but Hardaway's got the most deepest and best team. And by the way, we get number 1 versus number 3 this Friday night, 8 o'clock, Muskogee County Showcase on Georgia, Alabama Sports Live. Wow, I'm already getting chills thinking about it. But go ahead, Rich.
Oh, no, Jabria Lindsay is the best player to come out of this area in a long time. I mean, her numbers averaging over 27 points a game. She's close to averaging a triple-double. You know, she's averaging almost 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 3 steals, she shoots 65% from the field. She is the most efficient player on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. And the reason why that Central can compete for a state title is her teammates. Look at Garrett Griggs averaging 15 points a game. Danica Todd averaging 2 points a game.
Right.
Her teammates are getting involved. It's not just Jabria Lindsay. The offense is not just running through her. So that is going to equal to more wins. And I think that this Central team, who, you know, they got bounced out of the first round of the playoffs last year. I think that this team can go deeper in the playoffs and win the region. It's going to be tough because Auburn, Smith Station, Opelika, they are good. But what Coach Regetta Williams has built, with not just Jabria Lindsay, but just building that team around her. And guess what? We're going to be able to live stream a Central game on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We did get permission from the AD. We don't know which game we're going to do, but it can't be an area game. but we will be live streaming a Central game, and we're excited.
Yeah.
I know I am.
And I'll say this too. I don't think there'll be a game Central laces them up. I don't care where it's at. That Jabria Lindsey's not going to be the best player on the court. And as long as you got the best player on the court, and then your role players like Griggs and Thomas are filling in the gaps, Central can compete with anyone. But as long as Jabria Lindsey's out there, good luck trying to stop them. So, number one,
Yeah.
Kelly Ellison's team. What a job by her and the Lady Hawks. We look forward to getting that Hardaway Pacelli come out at Columbus State for the Muskogee County Showcase. We're going to be getting all the games on Friday, all the games on Saturday, 11 games in 2 days. Don't go anywhere. We want you to come out and show support, so come to Columbus State. But if you can't make it, we got it on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and they come in at number 1. Here are your top 10. Hardaway 1, Central 2, Pacelli 3, Harris County 4, Carver 5, Northside 6, Smith Station 7, Spencer 8, Calvary 9, and Columbus High number 10. All right, let's go to the boys. All right, boys rankings. Man, this one's been tough because what we say our rankings are is chance to win a state championship in your league, your roster compared to other teams in your league, and then your schedule compared to other teams in your league. But the problem is a lot of these teams face each other even though they're in different leagues. But with that said, we had to make major changes. Number 10, Hardaway. The Hawks got a big win against Harris County, both boys and girls on Friday. I don't know if the boys won on Saturday against Smith Station, Richard. So I'll have to look that up.
No,
here in just a second.
they did lose to Smith Station.
Okay, so they did lose. But Kendrick, how about Coach Andre Dye and the Kendrick Cherokees? They're going to be shooting up in our rankings too. They're looking like a 20-win team this year and buying. Remember, because more than 4 teams can make it in a region when they do their power ratings in basketball in the two-way classification of the GHSA. But number 10, Hardaway and Kendrick, and they both face off against each other on Thursday night. So we're going to see who the true number 10 team is in our area. But they're number 10. Number 9, it has been a tough last couple of weeks. Last time we did our rankings, Brookstone was number 4, and I thought they had a chance to be a team that could surprise the people and make a state championship run in the GIAA. They may still be able to do that in the GIA because it's up for grabs aside from Pacelli. It's Pacelli up here and then everybody else down here. But they're down there with everybody else that has them a chance to make a deep run. But they've lost to Chatco, okay? They've lost to Hardaway. They lost to Glenwood last week. They're 4-7 right now. I do think Coach Ivy gets it turned around. I do think this team's talented enough, especially in the GIAA, when they beat a good Stratford team. But Brookstone comes in at number 9, and the reason they are not even lower is because I still think they got a chance to be competitive in the GIAA.
Yes.
So number 10, Hardaway Kendrick. Number 9, Brookstone. And number 8, Coach Ingersoll's Panthers, Smith Station, number 8.
Yeah, I agree with this list. Obviously, we'll find out who probably the winner of that Hardaway Kendrick game on Thursday will probably be the standalone number 10. That's going to be exciting. I talked to Coach Ivy after the Brookstone Spencer game. Chapman Dykes got into foul trouble. When Chapman Dykes was in the game, Brookstone was competitive with Spencer. I mean, it was a very close contested game. As far as Smith Station, I mean, they just continue winning. Smith Station, led by Coach Ingersoll, 8-4 on the season. After beating Harris County, Shaw, they've beaten Hardaway. I think that Smith Station, as they get ready for a region tournament play, they have to face Auburn Central and Opelika. We'll see how they go. But, so far, the rankings definitely right on point.
Another team that has had a couple up and down games. They've lost to Shaw and Hardaway at home, but they've had some great wins, including getting a 40-point performance from TJ Benson in their win over Wiregrass, their good school in Dothan, Alabama, as Calvary comes in at 4-3. They take on Carver tomorrow. We're going to get that on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But Smith Station, a really good program. But Calvary comes in at number 7. The reason I have them at number 7, and people are like, well, they lost to Shaw, they lost to Hardaway. Remember, we're basing our rankings off chance to win in their league. And I think Calvary, when fully healthy, because in that Shaw game, they lost one of their second-best player and probably their most important player, and Dylan Hostin, who hopefully will be back here against Carver. Calvary comes in at number 7. When fully healthy, I think they got just as good a chance as anyone else to make a state championship run to compete against Pacelli. Coach Gordon's team's number 7, and if they can get fully healthy and play on the way they're capable of, I can see them moving in the top 5. But they're going to stay at number 7. And number 6, Russell County Coach Battle's team. I just love this team, man. They just battle and compete. And I think that's one of the biggest things with Calvary, too, is that even when things are not going their way, I think Calvary Christian, they respond by continue to be competitive, continue to give their all, continue to be great on the defensive side. They don't let not hitting shots affect them. And then the addition of Junior Irvin, who just been a great addition and kind of a surprise for the Calvary Knights. They're number 7, Russell County number 6. What you got to say, man?
Well, we're going to have a chance to see Calvary a couple of times, not just Carver tomorrow. We're going to see them in the Muskogee County Showcase against Spencer on Saturday, this upcoming Saturday. And then in the Border Wars, they're going to take on Morgan County and Deerfield Windsor.
And then got Tatnall Square, too,
on the 20th.
On Thursday. So
in
they
Macon.
got a tough week this week. Just Coach Gordon. Who scheduled that, John?
I don't know. Yeah. Well, Russell County also, we're going to see them in the Muskogee County Showcase. They are taking on Shaw. Right now, I mean, you look at Kingston Henry, Antonio Lockhart, Tamaje Mackey, and, of course, Josh Battle. You know, he's got some players. Right now, they are 9-2. They are looking good. Remember, they went to the second round of the playoffs last year. I think that Russell County is one of those teams to watch out for.
I think so, too. This is a problem, though, Richard. They play in a tough region and in a tough classification, too. It's the reason why I had Glenwood at number 5, who comes in at 6-3. They did lose to Lynette by 11. They beat Lynette at home by 14. They beat Brookstone. They beat Valley. They beat Nagasaga twice. This week they got Valley tomorrow at Valley. Then they play in a Pigeon Forge, Tennessee tournament. And then they get Border Wars, and they start their region play. I think this team, when fully healthy, right now their leading scorer is Mason McCrane, followed by Swag and Tyler Sykes. Levi Pender, who's been kind of off lately, he was their second leading scorer last year. Simpson's been good. I like this Glenwood team. They're a scrappy bunch, but I got Glenwood at number 5. I could hear you say Russell County, but I think Glenwood playing in a lower classification, a little bit better chance in county. But either one, you could really switch those, in my opinion. But we'll have 5 Glenwood, 6 Russell County, and 7 Calvary. Again, Calvary, another team, when fully healthy, they can be number 5. Those 3 are really interchangeable. What's not interchangeable is the top 4, because I think it's Spencer, number 4. But go quickly talk about Glenwood real quick before I get in the top 4, Richard.
I like where Glenwood's at. By the way, Lee Scott Academy is 13-1 on the season. Hayden Harper is averaging 18 points a game. We know how much of a gamer he has been, and he's really been a thorn in Glenwood's side the past couple of years. This area is going to be fun, along with Beulah and Dadeville. Lee Scott and Glenwood, I think that these are going to be the 2 teams that are going to be top of the area. But I think that Glenwood's, got a tough schedule. I think that we'll get this chance to see how good Glenwood is in the Border Wars, because they take on Marion County and Chatco, and Chatco just beat Brookstone. But yeah, I do like that. Glenwood Brookstone game last Monday. I mean, it went down to the wire. Glenwood's going to have a chance to take on Calvary. I mean, so we're going to see them in some interesting matchups. But I think Glenwood's going to be able to compete in the AHSAA.
And as I talk about it, I may end up moving when we drop these on social media. I may end up moving Russell County number 5, but I'll leave it for right now. And we'll do another rankings coming up December the 29th. Number 4, Spencer, great one against Brookstone. Coach Quintavious Allen has a fully healthy team, a full team now. And I think they're the second best team in their region behind Carver. And I cannot wait. We get that potentially 3 times this year, Richard. We get at Spencer, at Carver, and then the region championship. And maybe even the playoffs. So sign me up for that. But Spencer comes in at 6-2. Their only losses are to Therrell and Troup County. They've beaten Jordan, Brookstone, Sly County, West Side, Vinegar, and Central of Macon, they got Southwest Atlanta Christian coming up.
By the way,
And
Dwight Howard went there.
Yep, and then they got Calvary on Saturday. So holy smokes, Calvary. And that's the primetime game, Calvary versus Spencer on Saturday night. But Spencer, number 4. Number 3, undefeated Pacelli, the prohibited favorite in the GIAA to win it all this year. Number 2, I think Carver's a prohibited favorite in 2A. And I think Hoover may be the favorite, but Central's just got such a loaded team. But Carver, I guess we'll start with Pacelli. For one, they dominated Heritage, dominated Cristo Rey. They've beaten 6A Carrollton. They've been off to a hot start. They beat New Faith Academy. They just beat Loganville. Pacelli coming up this week. I'm going to have to check and see who they play. But they're undefeated right now. And I'm telling you, by the end of the year, hear this name, Mekhi Williams. That guy is a stud. And if he keeps playing the way he's been playing, which is aggressive, for one, when he started off the Cristo Rey game, he literally started off with one of the hardest flushes and slams I've seen in a game. Literally a tip, and it started off with a dunk 3 seconds into it. Mekhi Williams, Jalen Bush, and Matthew Melvin, that three-headed monster with Michael Rowe. I'm telling you, Mekhi Williams, if you've not seen him, he has been was a great role player last year. He's taken it on to the next level. He's got a body type. He looks every bit of D1 when you watch that guy play. And he's already made his name in the AAU circuit. So number 3 is Pacelli. Number 4, Spencer. Go ahead, Rich.
Pacelli is 5-0. They did defeat Loganville Christian on Saturday, a rematch of the GIAA state championship. They do face Callaway on Thursday and Lithia Springs, but I think that this Pacelli team, led by Michael Rowe, who's only a sophomore, he's averaging 20 points a game, but he's been deep.
Dominant, man.
Yeah, he's been dominant. Jalen Bush, you have Matthew Melvin, you have Mekhi Williams. I mean, I think what Coach Calvin Thomas has done is he's been really, the mantle's been passed to him from Coach Corey Black. What Coach Corey Black has built at Pacelli, Calvin Thomas is just taking it and just running with it. And this Pacelli team just looks dominant. And every game that we do on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, they have dominated. I know that Heritage game was close. They beat a 6A Carrollton. I mean, so once again, they are stacking the schedule. And I cannot wait to see them. You know, they're taking on Warner Robins in the Screaming Demon Christmas Invitational.
Yeah, that's what I say. They're playing Callaway, Lithia Springs, and Warner Robins all on the road in that tournament. They got Therrell on the next week and at East Paulding in a tournament. So 5 games of Callaway, Lithia Springs, Warner Robins, Therrell, East Paulding. Those are the next 5 games. And they come back after New Year's break and they take on Calvary. So how about that? We got that coming up next. Number 2 is the Carver Tigers. By the way, Pacelli and Carver face off in the MLK Corey Black CB Hoots Classic coming up at CVCC. We cannot wait for that, Richard, which should be a lot of fun. That will be coming up January the 16th.
Yeah.
Excuse me. That is January the 20th.
MLK Day. Same as the national championship.
Carver beat Callaway, beat Columbus, beat Harris County, beat Creekside, and beat Cambridge, and they've won all those games by 40 points or more. They take on Calvary, then Shaw, and then they got Sandy Creek next week.
Boy.
Wow. And that's going to be in a tournament they're playing in. Their first game is against Sandy Creek. So, wow, that's going to be a lot. That's going to be tough. Their leading scorer right now, Tony Montgomery at 21. TJ Woodson at 15. And then the block man himself, Tobias Solbert. You got Truesdale putting up 13 a game. And Ace Thomas, he's only played 1 game. Hopefully he comes back because of football. They're going to get him back. This team has not even got its full team because of Tristan Givens. They're going to be guiding players. So this team's going to be even deeper by the end of the year. Coach Pembroke's team at number 2 and number 1 is the Central Red Devils. They're deep, they're loaded, and we hope they bring in a state championship. So here's your top 10, Rich. Number 1, Central. Number 2, Carver. Number 3, Pacelli. Number 4, Spencer. Number 5, Glenwood. Number 6, Russell County. Number 7, Calvary. Number 8, Smith Station. Number 9, Brookzone. And number 10, Hardaway. Those are your boys' basketball rankings. And throw up the girls one more time, Richard, if you can, before we take a quick break. Girls, number 1, Hardaway. Number 2, Coach Rajetta Williams and the Central Lady Red Devils. Number 3, Pacelli. 4, Harris County. 5, Carver. 6, Northside. 7, Smith Station. 8, Spencer. 9, Calvary. And 10 is Columbus. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back from break, we're going to talk about what we got coming up this week with the schedule. It's going to be fun. We'll talk about the schedule for Muskogee County Showcase, and Richard will round up it with the River Dragons report here on the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Show. You're watching right now the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Show that is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. Get ready to smile. We'll be right back after this. Football is back, and the only thing that makes it better is some delicious food from Zaxby's. They're a proud sponsor of Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. And I can tell you that everyone on this team loves their chicken. Get all the favorites, such as their signature chicken sandwich, or try the new chicken finger tacos with your favorite drink. From amazing salads, wings, chicken fingers, and some of the best drinks around, there isn't a better way to enjoy our broadcast without getting some fantastic meals from Zaxby's. Check out the 2 here in Phoenix City, one off Crawford Road and the other on US 80. Thank you again to Zaxby's for sponsoring Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. And make sure you call them for all your catering and tailgating needs this football season. Welcome back, everyone, to the Georgia-Alabama Sports Live Show. Thank you to Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. You've seen the commercials. And they got over 600 cars and trucks on the lot. If you're a last-minute shopper like me, go up to Glenn Smith right now. Take a test drive. Let them take care of you. They got a great staff there that's going to make sure you feel at home. I'll send you to Pepsi and Buffalo Rock. You're going to be hosting parties. You're going to need drinks. Pepsi's got, and Buffalo Rock, a myriad of drinks. I even recommend the Buffalo Rock Ginger Ale. It is I won't say acquired taste, but it's a different taste. And if you like ginger ale, you need to try that. Thank you to Gordy Eye Care. He says right now he's got deals going on. We went in there to shoot a commercial, so many different lenses. He says he can take any type of insurance. He wants to make sure. He's been giving back to the community for over 20 years. So thank you to Gordy Eye Care, the official eye care of Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. And, of course, we are home to CVCC Athletics. You're going to get the CVCC Coaches Show tomorrow night here on Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. So tomorrow night, we got a bench. Well, you know what, Richard? Just go ahead and throw up the schedule. How about that? I don't have to sit here and tell you. We just got the schedule. We got Carver at Calvary boys only at 6:30. I'll be on the call for that. Then we got the Pacelli Coaches Show. I'm going to be interviewing Coach Bryant Thomas and Coach Calvin Thomas here. So looking forward to talking to both of them about their incredible starts to start the season. So can't wait for that. That's going to be coming up that night. And then we also plan on having the Calvary Coaches Show at some point. We'll let you know when that drops. You'll see it. You'll just have to follow us on Facebook, right here on this Facebook page. And then, Richard, I just made mention I lost my train of thought that we were going to have an interview. Now I forgot.
The swim coach from Pacelli.
The swim coach from Pacelli. But I was trying to talk before that who we were going to have on Coaches Show-wise. Oh,
Coach Hauser and Coach
and then we got Columbus State. That's coming up on Wednesday. But December the 16th, Carver at Calvary, 6:30. That's tomorrow. And then Pacelli Coaches Show. We'll have the Glenwood Coaches Show December the 17th. And then CVCC, that will be after Pacelli Coaches Show tomorrow night. So we'll have Pacelli Coaches Show coming up at 6, and then CVCC Coaches Show will start about 8:30 after the Carver Calvary game. December the 17th, we got live from Mercedes-Benz. We'll be heading up there doing a hit at 3 o'clock, and then we're going to be trying to get an interview. We'll be covering the game, kind of like what we did from the semifinal game 2 weeks ago at Otis Spencer Stadium. We got the Kudzu Sports Show. We're talking with Coach Ram. Can't wait for that with Rick Beach at 7 p.m. And the Glenwood Coaches Show will air right after that. around 7:30. December the 18th, we got East Coweta at Pacelli, girls only. You're going to get that on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Richard, you'll be there for that one. And then on on Friday and Saturday, that is December 20th and the 21st, we will have the Muskogee County Christmas Tournament. So cannot wait for that. And there is the Muskogee County Christmas Tournament schedule, as Jordan girls started off at 5 p.m. 6:30 is Hardaway at Douglas County, and 8 o'clock is Hardaway at St. Pacelli, number 1 versus number 3. 8 p.m. at Columbus State. All of those games going to be on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Then on Saturday, we got starting off Northside at Columbus boys, Northside and Russell County girls. And then we got Shaw versus Campbell girls, Kendrick versus Creekside boys, Kendrick versus LaGrange girls. Then we got Spencer versus Lee County girls, Shaw versus Russell County at 6, and then Spencer versus Calvary. This is your Muskogee County Showcase. We are doing all 11 games for both days, and we're going to showcase a lot of teams, all 8 Muskogee County teams. Well, excuse me, 6 Muskogee County, 6 of the 8, and then the Jordan girls. The Carver boys and girls are not in this, but we also got Calvary boys, Russell County girls and boys are in it. LaGrange is in it. So looking forward to being able to do these games, Richard.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the fact that we are showcasing some of these schools that are outside of our coverage area, like a school like Hanley, which is out in Roanoke and not necessarily in our area, but you're going up 431 and heading towards eastern Alabama, up there near Wadawi. Hanley is right there over in Roanoke. I know their football team has been great. They won a state title in 2020. So we get a chance to see the Hanley Lady Tigers out of Roanoke. Also, Doug.
Before you talk about Douglas County, I'm just excited the fact too, Richard, that we're going all out. We're going to have, we're a team of 12 people here at Georgia Alabama Sports Live. 8 of them are going to be in attendance. We're going to have multiple camera angles. We're going to be given plaques of the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Alex Cooney All-State Player of the Game. After each game, we're going to be doing interviews. Cannot wait. We did it last year. We were your home for the last 2 years. We've been your home for the Muskogee County Christmas Tournament. Now it's the Christmas Showcase. And also, we got office hours. It's going to be live at 12 o'clock. So we'll have office hours live with Coach Kendall Mills, Coach Danielle McCoy, Coach Anson Hunley. All of them will be there in attendance. Coach Joseph Cago, they'll be doing a live show in the media room. And then we're going to be broadcasting all 11 games, Friday and Saturday, right here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Cannot wait to do it.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting time at the Lumpkin Center. Once again, just a state-of-the-art facility at Columbus State. That this is really just the showcase of what it's all about, and that these teams, not just from Columbus, but from the surrounding areas, get to play under the bright lights of playing at an NCAA Division II arena, and it's going to be a great time, like it was last year and the year before.
Exactly right. So we cannot wait to be able to do that. Thank you to Jeff Battles, and thank you to Coach Jay Sparks at Columbus State. I love talking with him, man. And Columbus State obviously is a big sponsor of ours, so we appreciate Columbus State University for supporting us, and we can't wait to keep it up with CSU Athletics. We're talking with Coach Moore and Coach Hauser, and we'll be talking with them on Wednesday. But Coach Jay Sparks laying out the red carpet. He did this for us when we did the GIAA. He did this for us last year at the Christmas tournament, and we look forward to doing it live again and having Coach Sparks on, Coach Moore. We're going to interview all these guys as a part of it here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Just cannot wait to be there at the Muskogee County Showcase. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can't wait for that, and then I can't wait for the Border Wars the following weekend at Glenwood, which now that Glenwood's in the AHSAA, we get to see those public schools in the Border Wars like Chatco and Marion County. So I'm excited about that as well. So
basically, after starting on Friday and Saturday, leading up to next Friday and the Friday and Saturday after that, so the 20th and 21st, 27th and 28th, we'll be doing 20 games in 4 days. 3 on Friday, 8 on this Saturday. And then next week in the Border Wars, we're getting 5 or 6 on Friday, 5 or 6 on Saturday. Really over 20 games here, and showcasing Glenwood, Calvary, Lee Scott, Marion County, Chatco, also showcasing Russell County, Northside, Shaw, Columbus, Spencer. We're also getting Carver this week. So we're pretty much hitting every school. The only schools, and we did Central early in the year at Shaw. We're going to get them again at home. They're the only ones we haven't done. We've done Pacelli. But I think we've already hit it. After this weekend and Border Wars, we pretty much hit every school, and we're not even halfway there yet. And we've already done close to 20 basketball games, and we're a quarter of the season in.
Yeah, and we're also going to hit LaGrange. I mean, we have not done a LaGrange game yet. We did one for baseball when LaGrange played Central last year, but LaGrange basketball is going to be featured on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. I'm excited about that.
I am too, and I cannot wait for us to be there. All right, let's end the show with some River Dragons report. Richard, and the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, Thrift. Well, the Columbus River Dragons split a 2-game series with the Monroe Moccasins. On Friday, they did fall to the Moccasins 7-3, but they were able to bounce back and get the 6-3 victory over Monroe on Saturday. It was Teddy Bear night, so they throw the teddy bears out on the ice when they get a hat trick. It's just a great event. Alexander Geminoff scored his 100th career goal. Congratulations. And right now they are currently tied in second place along with the Carolina Thunderbirds in the Continental Division. And I want to make mention, it's not the River Dragons related, but congratulations to the Athens Rock Lobsters for getting their home opener off the ground. That I saw pictures on their Facebook page. A lot of fans in Athens who got to see them over in the Atkins Ford Arena. And I can't wait that the Athens Rock Lobsters will take on the River Dragons this Friday. And then the River Dragons will get on a bus and go up I-185 to Athens to take on the Athens Rock Lobsters in that new state-of-the-art arena. It's called the Atkins Ford Arena. It's also going to feature UGA hockey in there. And I think that the fans of Athens, when you think of Athens, you think of the University of Georgia. I think they're just excited. They got a minor league team that has nothing to do with the University of Georgia.
Yeah, exactly right. So we hope, and we're cheering on the River Dragons. We will have Tom Callahan on here, hopefully maybe next week as we head into Christmas break. And also we'll have our Georgia Alabama Sports Live show on Sunday, recapping everything that happened at the Muskogee County Showcase on Friday and Saturday. So cannot wait for that. Next time we're going to be live is on Wednesday with the Georgia Alabama Sports Live show. We got Keeping Up with CSU Athletics, talking to Coach Moore, Coach Alzer. We also will be doing Unsolicited Hot Take because there's some playoff games. We're going to be doing our bracket, me, you, and Rick Beach. So can't wait to be able to do that. And I'm thinking we're going to have a special guest on, DJ Jones, too, for the Unsolicited Hot Take on Wednesday. So cannot wait for that. So everyone, thank you so much for your support. It was awesome to win this award. Again, Georgia Alabama Sports Live Community Service Award for over 60 football games we did this year. In total, we have done close to 200 broadcasts since August, and we're going to hit probably close to 500 by the end of the year. We have done wrestling matches. We have done archery competitions. We've done volleyball state championships. We've done flag football. We've done softball. We've done, obviously, football. Now we're in basketball. We got coming up soccer, tennis, baseball, softball in the spring for the Alabama people. Just a lot happening, and you're getting on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And hopefully we'll try to get a happy hour appearance from the Columbus United FC. We may be doing that on Thursday before our meeting, Richard. So maybe we get a special appearance and Richard can go interview Laney Hitchcock and the rest of the Columbus United, because we are going to be home to Columbus United FC when the season starts, and Columbus Lions. So we're also doing professional. They have chose Georgia Alabama Sports Live, the Columbus Lions, and the Columbus United FC. So we got soccer and the arena football coming up on top of doing CVCC sports, which we're home for. So thank y'all so much for watching. We appreciate the love. We love you, and we hope you have a great rest of your night. We'll see you tomorrow night, 6:30. It's Calvary and Carver boys on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching the Georgia Alabama Sports Live show presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. You're ready to smile.